everyone, I'm Kelly with the Suburban Soapbox, and today we are making an easy shrimp ceviche. This is perfect for the summer months because there's absolutely no cooking required. So let's get started. So if you've never had ceviche, ceviche gets its origins from Peru. It is a seafood salad where usually it's made with fish or scallops or something like that, and the fish is cooked in the dressing. So for this ceviche, we are not doing that. We are starting with a pre-cooked shrimp. So this is so easy for anyone to make at home and safe for you to serve. I know a lot of people are kind of squeamish about cooking their raw fish in like a dressing of lime and citrus, but this, you don't have to worry about that at all. So I am starting with some pre-cooked shrimp. So the same shrimp you'd get at your grocery store for a shrimp cocktail. This was frozen, it's thawed, and it's ready to go. It's already peeled and deveined, so you don't even have to worry about that. I also am using jicama. Jicama is a root vegetable from South America. It's very much like a potato, but it has less carbs. It tastes like an apple, but it's not quite as sweet. For the dressing, we're going to use orange, lime, lemon, citrus flavors. And then for the rest of the salad, we're going to use jalapeno, some tomatoes, and red onion. Also, avocado. You can totally skip the avocado if you want, but I urge you to throw it in there. It's so good. Okay, so to start, we're going to make the dressing. So I'm going to take all of my citrus. We're gonna put them all in the microwave for about 15 seconds. And you'll be able to feel like they're not hot, but they're a little warmer. So it's going to just help release the juices from your citrus. And then we'll squeeze and catch your seeds. Limes are always so tricky, so sometimes I'll grab like an extra one at the grocery store just in case I have some duds. Now the lemons. And you can get really creative with your ceviche if you want to use a grapefruit. Grapefruit adds such a unique flavor, and if you think about a paloma, the cocktail that's really famous in Central and South America, it's made with grapefruit juice, so it would go really well with your ceviche. Like shooting citrus everywhere. So now we're gonna take the shrimp and you're just gonna chop it up into smaller pieces. So do about 3 pieces, and then we'll set it aside. Get rid of the tails. You can actually chop it into smaller bits if you like, bigger pieces if you want. If you want it to be more of a citrusy shrimp cocktail, you can just leave them whole, really whatever works for you. I like to serve ceviche with chips to make it more like a dip, but you can totally make it a low-carb meal just by serving it in a bowl on top of lettuce leaf or something like that. And then we're just gonna take all of our shrimp and put it in the bowl with the citrus juice to cook. We're actually just gonna toss it together and then it'll marinate for about 15 minutes. Next, we're gonna chop up the jicama, and I like to just peel. We're not gonna use the whole thing. So I like to peel it first. It's always easier to peel it when it's intact, and we can just peel like part of it. Of course it's gonna like fight me. But you can see it's like really waxy and hard to peel. So if you have a better way to do this, certainly add that down in the comments. I am all ears, or eyes, since I'll be reading it. So I'm just gonna cut this piece off, and I'm gonna cut it into strips. So tomatoes, you want them to look like little matchsticks, like the matchstick carrots that you can buy at the store. You can also chop it up like in little cubes if you want, but I just think this looks better. I'm just gonna toss this into the bowl with it. So now the tomatoes. So normally I would tell you to use plum tomatoes and scoop out the seeds and dice it up real fine. But I ordered my groceries on Instacart, and my Instacart person gave me 2 plum tomatoes instead of 2 pounds of plum tomatoes. So I'm just gonna use these little grape tomatoes and cut them up small. And actually the beauty about them is they're really sweet. So they'll work really well in this, but that's not what my original recipe called for. So those of you that are looking at the recipe, know that I'm aware these are not plum tomatoes. All right, now that all of our tomatoes chopped up, we're going to chop the onion. And I like to have a small dice. Nobody likes a big giant piece of onion in anything really, except for maybe like your burger, but if you're dipping into something like this or a little salad, you don't want just a big whopping piece of onion. So a small dice and my famous grid for chopping my onion just makes it a little easier to get that small dice. And I have the flat edge, that's what I cut off first so it doesn't roll. I don't chop off my fingers. If you've been following me for a while, you know I have the best knife skills ever. I think there might be a betting pool on when I cut my finger off. So you'll have to look for that. Okay, so red onion going into the bowl with our shrimp. And you don't have to use all of it. If you're not a fan of onion, you don't have to use all of it. Now we're gonna cut up our jalapeno, and I have 2 jalapenos here. These are pretty large though, so I might just do 1. If you'd like things super spicy, look for a smaller jalapeno and definitely put an extra one in there. My recipe calls for 2, maybe because when I wrote the recipe that day, I had some smaller jalapenos. And if you don't want it super spicy, take out more of that membrane. This white part of the membrane holds a lot of the heat, and that's the best way to do it. Just push it out like that, and then I like to cut it into thin little pieces. And if you're super sensitive to spicy food, when you're chopping these, wear gloves and don't rub your eyes. Don't rub your eyes. I may have done that and it was not good. Put all of that into the bowl. And now the avocado. So what I like to do first is toss everything together. And you can really add other vegetables to this. Bell pepper works really well, adds another layer of color. We're gonna cut our avocado in half. Remove the pit just by twisting like that. And a little twist, and then you can push off like that. So we're just gonna cut it inside the peel. I have a friend who peels her avocado first. You can do that and then lay it flat on the board. I like to scoop it all out with a spoon. And I love the avocado in the salad, but one tip for you is if you're going to make this in advance, like a few hours in advance, and you want to add the avocado to it, make sure you add the avocado right before you serve it. You can just scoop it right out, just like that. All right, put it all in there. And now I'm going to put parsley in it. I love, love, love cilantro, but when I have guests, not everybody likes the taste of cilantro. Some people think it tastes like soap. So I'm going to use faux cilantro. and we're just gonna chop it up real fine. So you can't even really tell that it's parsley. It's more the flavor, that you don't get that pop of cilantro, the citrusy burst. But since you have a lot of citrus flavor going on with the dressing, this will just be fine. Chop it up very finely. Just a little bit of salt, sprinkle it over, and then toss it all together. All right, now I'm ready to serve it up. So I'm going to transfer it to a serving bowl, and then I'm going to eat it all by myself. Okay, you don't want to put too much of the dressing in. You don't want to water it down, but you want a little bit in the bottom there. So I have some chips here. There we go. Get a nice big scoop. I'm gonna take a bite. That is so fresh and tangy. You can just taste that citrus, and the shrimp is like perfect. This is fantastic for a hot summer day. Comes together in minutes, and everybody loves it. If you like this recipe, please be sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. For more easy recipes, visit thesuburbansoapbox.com. Thanks again.